I have 5 things that you can do, or strategies that you can implement in order to deal with being an empty nester. A little background about myself and the wife. We have 4 kids, 2 boys, 2 girls. 2 boys have moved out. They're in their 20s. One girl is still living at home. She's a second-year nursing student. The other girl just graduated high school. So we're getting close. The number one thing on the list, and this is fundamental, this is a key principle, a foundation that all the other items on the list can be built upon. And number one, the most important, is lie to yourself. You need to start lying to yourself. You need to get good at it, and you need to start believing the lies. What are some examples of lying to yourself and how you apply it to being an empty nester or about to be an empty nester? Here are some examples. 50 is the new 30. The adventure is only just beginning. You have many, many new, fun, even maybe funner adventures to do. This YouTube video will get lots of views and be very helpful to people, and nobody's going to hate it or give me terrible, terrible comments. You see what I mean? It really helps. It's helped me so much in life. It will continue to help me because I will continue to lie to myself. Because lying to yourself leads to delusion, and oftentimes delusion can lead to happiness. The second point can be very helpful too. Remember being annoyed. What does that mean? Kids can be annoying, as you know, if you are a parent. Sure, you remember all the great times when they're young and cute, and again, back to the watching them grow, watching them learn. They're so much fun. Kids can be the most interesting people in the world to talk to. But there are also many annoying aspects to being a parent. And if you've been a parent for a few years, you know what I'm talking about. Taking them to dance recitals, taking them to soccer practice. My kids never played soccer. Taking them to school. I know you got to, but listen, let's be honest here. A lot of things are annoying. One of the biggest annoying things about having children is they eventually turn into teenagers. There's no human being on earth more annoying than a teenager. They're terrible. They're the same little kid that you loved, and they're the same adult that you respect later and that you're proud of. But that little middle part where they're teenagers is extremely annoying. You don't have to deal with teenagers anymore. You don't have to deal with geniuses with no life experience that will argue with you endlessly over the most mundane, obvious points. So remember being annoying. Remember being annoyed. Maybe I'm annoying. You don't have to be annoyed, at least with that part of your life, anymore. Remember being annoyed. It'll make you very happy knowing that you're not going to be as annoyed anymore. Point number 3, don't downsize. I have older friends who have already been through this. Their kids have grown up and they have actually retired. And the one thing a lot of people, parents, talk about is downsizing after a certain point. You got this medium to large house. I don't know what your situation is, but the house where you raised your kids, all of a sudden they're gone now and you have all this space. So a lot of people downsize. Maybe they're going to get a condo. Maybe the wife and you can get a condo, something small, something manageable. You don't have to mow the grass anymore. You don't have to worry about maintenance to a certain respect. And you downsize, right? Everything's smaller. Everything's more manageable. You don't need the space anymore. By the way, this leads into the next point about not downsizing. I feel that if I were to downsize, I would be shrinking my life. Everything gets smaller. I don't want it to get smaller. I want it to stay at least the same, if not get bigger. So downsizing to me is akin to going out in the backyard and hanging myself out of a tree. I don't like it. I think you're accepting life decreasing and shrinking. Don't downsize. Stay in the same house, keep doing the same routine, and run it until the wheels fall off, basically. I know you're going to get older and older and older. It's going to get harder and harder and harder. But guess what? You may have adult children that can help you with that. Don't downsize. Keep everything the same. Stay the course. The next point, number 4, which is very closely tied to not downsizing, is push grandkids. That's right. The grandkids are going to be your renewal point. They're going to be you reliving life as a young parent again, except you're not a young parent. You're a grandpa or grandma, and you get to enjoy grandkids. Not only that, you get to enjoy all the good parts of being around children, the fun parts. The grandkids come over to visit, you play with them, you give them treats, you enjoy them. They are the offspring of your offspring. I haven't experienced it yet myself, but it must be an amazing feeling. So you want to really push that. You don't want your kids to wait too long before they have children. And you don't want to be too much of an old fart by the time they do that. You want to still have some energy to enjoy the grandkids. So push grandkids with your children. You need to launch a propaganda campaign with your children and remind them on a regular basis that having children is the meaning of life and it gives you true purpose. If you don't have children, you die a barren, empty existence alone. You need to remind them of that all the time. Yes, I know that they have to have careers and build a financial foundation so that they can afford to have kids and raise them properly. But please, don't wait too long. You've got to push it. Push, push, push. Grandkids. You must have grandkids. And your children must be, for lack of a better word, brainwashed into thinking that they must have children. It's very, very important. Number 5 on the list is get a hobby. That hasn't been mentioned before, right? Get a hobby. Hobbies keep you busy, and they give you something to do while you're waiting for those grandkids. It could be anything that you've been interested in all your life and you haven't tried, or it could be something that you used to do and you put away because you had such a busy, hectic lifestyle raising children and you want to get back to. It could be all sorts of things. Woodworking, automotive restoration, knitting, snake wrangling, or maybe making YouTube videos and making an asset of yourself for the entire world to see. Hobbies keep you busy. It takes your mind off the loneliness and the emptiness of not having your children around anymore. So get a hobby, pick anything, something that you love to do and it's going to keep you busy and keep your mind away from the darkness and the abyss. Okay, that's 5 things. We had lie to yourself, fundamental. Got to start doing it. It makes you happy. Remember being annoyed. Remember that you're free from a lot of annoyance now. Don't downsize. Push grandkids and get a hobby. Now, here's the bonus one. And this is something I discovered after my 2 boys moved out for the first time. I call it the boomerang effect. Often children are like boomerangs. They may leave, but they also may come back. Both my boys came back to live with us after moving out for a couple of years. They came back and lived with us again because they wanted to rediscover themselves. So they came back and lived with us for a couple of years, so we got a couple of bonus years being around them. The boomerang effect. Kids are like boomerangs. They will often come back. And although it's wrong, you don't want your kids to live in your basement until they're 30, but it's nice to have them come back and stay with you for a while. So possibly you may benefit from this, the boomerang effect. Anyway, those are my 5 things that you can do with the bonus, the boomerang effect, things that you can do to deal with the impending empty nest situation. Thanks for watching. By the way, I'm just getting started with this YouTube filming thing, and I'm very small right now. Well, I'm not actually small, but I'm small in the YouTube sense. Maybe I am more medium, actually. But if you could find it in your heart to subscribe, I have to get to the 1,000 subscriber mark in order to be in the YouTube club. So, tell you what you do. You subscribe, and you turn off the notifications so I don't bother you. I get the subscription, you don't get bothered. How does that sound? Anyway, thank you so much for spending time with me and watching me rant in front of a camera. Try my ideas. They could possibly work. Or not.